Good and you? Welcome back to New Hampshire Vintage. Yeah, this is a Phazer. We're going 90s on this episode. I don't really know much about these. This one was pretty cheap. Cheapest I could really get on Marketplace without having it missing panels and having different skis or the engine being out of it or it being completely, banged up. This one's in semi-decent shape. And we are planning on doing a Phazer build like everybody else has. Yeah, we're kind of 5, 6, 7 years behind. That's okay. Yeah, let me just kind of bring you guys in so I can show you it. I really don't know anything about these things. This is actually the first Yamaha I've owned. So let me just bring you guys in. It'd be easier than me yapping a mile away here. So here she is, the Phazer 2. I guess what made them different compared to the original Phazer is they're a little bit wider stance. This one's the long track. We'll get into that. And I don't know, a few adjustments, I guess. Skis. I don't really know. I just heard they're a little bit wider and they ride a little better, I guess. The seat's been redone. It actually looks pretty good. Little, oh, it's just dust. Then, really good shape, actually. It's missing the dash. We'll get into the riser in a second, the bars. There's the ST badge, which I guess is the 136 track. It's a pretty long track. It's not perfect. The running boards are beat up, which I guess are kind of normal on these. I did a little research on what to look for. Skis are the little bit wider skis. Might put plastic ones on down the road. There's a little bit of a scratch here, but the front nose cone is solid. The hood, there's no major gashes or holes. There's a little spot there. I think this pogo, it's been hit on a little bit, but looks fairly clean. Let's see. I really like the back end of these. I don't know, they just look mean. So I guess we'll focus on up front here. The previous owner, wicked nice guy, he had another one of these that he completely built. I mean, new running boards, nicer track, all decked out. It's actually really cool looking. And he started with this one, and then he bought a brand new sled. And he's like, I don't know why I ride these old pieces of junk anymore. And I don't blame him, but here we are. Steering's a little wampus. There might be a solution to that. We'll dive into that down the road. He said they all kind of do that, I guess. You could see the aluminum bar riser, which is actually really nice. I actually really like that. I was going to do that, but I guess we'll keep that one. We're missing the dash, so I don't really know how many miles are on it. And yeah, let's pop the hood here. I guess he told me the engine was rebuilt at some time, all new seals, fresh gas lines, and I don't know what else. It is electric start model, so we're going to test that. Well, you can see that's semi-newer lines. They're all pliable, which is good. Brakes are a little worn down. We might have to replace that. The exhaust is there, and it's pretty solid. Let's see. Like I said, I don't really know much about these. It looks fairly clean. It was in a trailer. He said he's had it for a while in a trailer, so it's not like it was living outside. Hood, all the original foams there still. No major cracks. Windshield's pretty glazed over. Might just place it, or maybe we can try to use one of those shine kits, or the like the headlight restoration kits. Headlight doesn't work, taillight doesn't work. We're gonna have to dive into that. Let's fire her up for you guys, because this one does run. Weird, I know. Usually we work on sleds that don't run on this channel, but yeah, let's fire her up. So he disconnected the choke and he put a primer in. I guess some guys do that on these because the choke gets kind of all gunged up in the carburetors. Unfortunately, I don't have the original choke cable, so I can't convert it back. But, I mean, it seems like it works pretty good as it is. He says he gives it a few primes if it sits for a while. And, yeah, let's just make sure that's off. Make sure the key's on. Let's pull it. She runs really good. Really good, actually. He disconnected the oiling reservoir, or the oil pump, so he runs 50 to 1 in it. So that's what we're going to have to do. That's all right. I guess some guys just don't trust the oil pumps on these older sleds. I can see why. It's just more convenient just to fill up the oil and you don't have to mix the gas. So where do you want to start on this? I don't know. Just give it a quick glance over under the hood, check the belt. Nice to get the lights working. Oh, the brake is very spongy. So maybe we can adjust that. And we did get snow, so we can give this thing a quick rip today and find out what else is broken, and then I can figure out why I bought this thing and hate myself for it. All right, let's get started here. Enough talking. So the previous owner told me that you take this cap off, and that's how you can adjust the brake to give it a little more oomph. These pads are definitely seen better days. Maybe someone already tried messing with it and couldn't get anything out of it. Might have to order up some pads, probably going to do that, but at least for today to ride it, we can see if we can adjust it. So at least we can stop. And then looking down here with the steering, see, sometimes that you could see right there, these nuts like to loosen up, and that adds extra play in the steering, I guess. So you just kind of move the bar. This one looks like it's actually pretty solid. Maybe there's some play otherwise, somewhere else. Maybe it's down, maybe we can do some adjusting down here maybe. Oh yeah, look at that. I'll definitely do it. All right, I'm going to pop off this cover. Might need a smaller screwdriver here. A little stubby. See if I can. Get to it. Here we go. I don't want to lose these. See if we can get a pair of vice grips on it. Oh yeah. Wow, that actually worked a lot better than I thought it was going to. Yeah, I can take this tool. Yes, I was gonna say I just need you to bite. Just bite enough to get you off. So I'll show you guys what this does. So this sits pretty much like this. And those two bolts you see there go through. Now, what happens is when you squeeze the brake, you guys up a little bit. When you squeeze the brake, see if I can reach it. You can see it moves ever so slightly. That little that shaft there, and it just pushes this out just a little bit. Now, this pad's definitely seen better days, but it's still, I can take it out here for you. But there's still a little life left on it, maybe. Probably not. I'll definitely replace it. But maybe we can adjust it enough where, well, this thing definitely is smoked. Yeah, I'll definitely be ordering a new one of those. But maybe we can adjust it enough where at least it can slow us down. So as you turn this dial, you can see it locks. And that dial, if you look closely, see how it pushes the pad out? You can see the pad moving out slowly. So that's your adjustment. And then you just take this guy off. It's like a little Phillips screwdriver, or it's like a little flathead, I mean. And then you could just spin this back, and you can see how the pad just recessed back into there. So that's kind of your adjustment, I guess. Kind of easy. So I'm going to adjust this the best I can, see if we can get ourselves to stop. And yeah, we'll move on to lights. I really don't want to dive into the carbs right now because it does run really good, and I don't really want to take all those off. It looks like it's a nightmare. We'll probably check the chain case for fluid, and I just kind of want to rip. And then down the road, we'll start doing some stuff to this thing. Next, we're going to address the, yeah. My guess is both these hind joints are shot, but maybe we can take off this cotter pin, snug this down a little bit, give it a little bit more life, because that's pretty loose. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably the wrong way of doing it. Definitely should probably replace these, but for now, let's try that. Let's see if the other side's shot too. Oh, that side's tight. Yeah, let's pull that cotter pin. Okay. Definitely has a lot of play. We'll definitely tighten it up. Let's see what that does. Well, it still has a little bit, but it's definitely a lot better. And if you see, it is moving the whole spindle there. So I think there's definitely play in the where the pretty much the spindle meets the ski. I can see quite a bit of movement there. Also, you can kind of see movement on this whole little arm there. So just, I don't know, probably just worn out bushings or whatnot. We'll dive into that later when we replace the ski. So for the time being, just that little bit will be fine. What else? Okay, so ski's done. I just got to put a cotter pin. You guys need to remind me about that before we take off. Brake is adjusted for now. Maybe I'll pull a plug. We can check compression on both this. I did not do that when I bought this. It was kind of just a, yep, I'll take it, throw it on the trailer kind of deal. So let's just check compression just for giggles. And then we will also pop this clutch cover off and we'll check out the belt and check the clutches and check all that, as well as the crankcase. We will check as well. It's right there. So we'll pop off that inspection cover. Or did these pop off? Looks like they do. And it looks like we're missing a bolt. So I might zip tie that. How does this? Oh. Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's super neat. Oh, so much easier. Oh, there's a little inspection port there as well. So we could pop off, well, this is the inspection cover, and then this is the, we'll fill it till, or if we open this, if it starts leaking out and the fluid looks good, then we're going to leave it. It looks like there is a slight leak. You can see the weeping, but we're not going to worry about that. We'll pop this off, add some fluid if we need to. I just have regular chain case oil. I don't know exactly what the weight is on it, but it'll be good enough. And yeah, cool. Oh, cotter pin. Okay, I'm really starting to like these phasers. I like these access panels. So there's our secondary. There's our primary. There's our belt. We'll pop this cover off. It looks like one of these. We're going to test that too. I want to see if this thing has working electric start. Kind of hoping it does. Oh yeah. Is it? Come on. Oh. Look at this, guys. We're learning. Wow. Belt's actually mint. So, yeah, it doesn't look bad. That's just kind of more of a shiny polish spot. These all have rust in there and on the shaft, like it's been sitting for a while. You know those bearings and stuff are not liking life. But these are actually, this sleeves are actually really clean. I'm gonna leave that cover off for now. Put that off to the side. All these on the ground, so I kick them and then lose them. It looks like we have a ground. Don't know if it's attached. And we have positive. Some more stuff hooked up to it. The whole battery thing is intact, which is awesome. I'm going to put my jumper pack to this. And we're just going to try the electric start because I'm just more curious now. So I got my jumper hooked up. This terminal had tape all over it. I don't see any smoke or anything. Don't know what's going to happen. Nothing. Oh. We got electric start. Yes. Oh, this thing's a gem. Okay. All right. Why? Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. Let's let's check the chain case, and then we're gonna grab a battery real quick for this thing. But while I'm at the parts store, I'm also gonna get bulbs because I don't think these bulbs are in, and I want these to work. Just now, I'm just excited. So we're gonna pop this off, which looks like it's already kind of loose, and see what's behind here, as well as, oh yeah, this thing is a mess. So we're gonna have to fix that. Looks like we got a bunch of grounds going to what have yous, missing plugs, which I'm guessing is the tack in the speedometer. Maybe we can get a aftermarket one, but looks to me, I'll have to figure it out, because it looks like, obviously, if we get these connected, this should light up. Which, if we be able to just pop this off, right? Oh, fingers in the way. How do you pop up? What are we doing there? Do turn? Yeah. Okay, there you go. Like the light filament is missing, so this thing's probably smoked. Okay, so we'll replace that. Now let's grab a screwdriver. Might have one. Like a small Phillips. Sorry if this video is kind of all over the place, and I'm just excited. I kind of like having something that works for once, and that kind of works good. So used to working on those old 60s sleds, which, don't get me wrong, are a lot of fun, and can't wait to ride them this year. But this thing's just kind of exciting. I'm thinking about, while I pull these off, I'm thinking about could either keep the skid or we can replace it. I know a lot of guys replace these skids. The track is definitely the original track. She only has like a ½ an inch to her, not even, maybe a ¼ inch. So she ain't going to be biting real well. We just got length on our side. But I definitely want to replace the track for sure. That's going to be a definite. But I just know for this video, I want to just have this thing run. Oh, the two filaments are there. I mean, maybe it doesn't look that corroded. I mean, it's a little bit, but not that bad. Maybe the seat isn't hooked up. Looks like we take off this bolt, and there's bolts underneath. Oh, yep, right there. It's hard to see, but you can see one of them in the center of your screen. Okay, let me take these off, and I just want to see if those wires are connected. I could also, too, put my tester on there as well. I got a tester and see if it's getting power. But I'll get back to you as soon as that's done. I don't really need to bore you with taking a seat off. So I used my test light over there, and I peeled back this tape, and there was a heat shrink cable, or heat shrink like these two, but this was not hooked up. So we were not getting power at all to the bulb. So it looks like it's like a handmade harness, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reconnect that, clean up the connections, reconnect it, and put the seat back on. Unfortunately, I can't take it all the way off because underneath where I was showing you those bolts, if you look at those two bolts, they see that spot weld? Yeah. They like tacked them on. So I'm going to have to, when we take the seat off eventually, to either alter this tunnel or paint it or whatnot, we're going to have to try to cut those or see if we can break them free to get that seat off. So what I'll do is tuck that back underneath, fix that. I'm going to replace the bulb anyways, get a new headlight bulb. Probably for now, clean up these connections a little bit. So just having electrical tape, even though usually I would accept that. And go for a ride, because we're going to be losing daylight. It's already 1 o'clock, and I want to rip this thing around. It's also kind of like 40 degrees out, so for all this 3 inches of snow we got, yeah. All right, I'll be back. All right, some time has passed. It's actually been a couple hours. We're pushing on almost 3:30. My buddy / neighbor, his plow wasn't working, so we were diagnosing that. It ended up being mice chewing some wires, and he needs to get a new plug and computer for it. But anyways, I replaced the light, and I also wanted to kind of show that I'm an idiot. What I showed earlier was 2 welds underneath where the bolt goes up through. Well, that actually holds in place, and you take those off inside the seat. So we could have actually took the seat off, so that's all good and addressed. I'm sure you Phazer guys were yelling at me, but I figured it out, so don't yell at me in the comments for that. New bulbs in there. I just haven't put the cover on, waiting to fire this thing up to see that work before I do that. I just quickly use these heat shrink connectors. It also has some solder in the middle. When you melt them, the solder melts and connects them. So that's a lot better than just electrical tape. I do want to actually clean this whole thing up, but we'll get to that down the road. We're running out of daylight. What else? You could see by the drip down there, I filled the chain case up to where it was just barely coming out of there. It was low, so that's fixed and done. I did check the chain. The chain's nice and taut, so that's good. Oh, what else? Battery, that's brand new and put on. We know that the electric start works, so that's all set. And the plug. So I pulled the plug out of there, and look at that. No, I'm just kidding. This was the plug I pulled out. You can definitely see, not terrible, definitely rideable, but I went ahead, since these are BR9 ESs, very common. I had some. I'm just going to replace both of those. What's left? Let's do a compression test on each cylinder, and then we'll throw the new plugs in, and we're going to go. Okay, got the tester in, and we're going to use the electric start, because why not? On about maybe 130. That's a very healthy cylinder right there. Let's hope the other one's the same on the clutch side here. Like the previous owner told me, it had all new seals done, gaskets, so that would kind of make sense. Okay, we are on clutch side, or I think people say the PTO side. Wow. Very healthy. Like, wow. Usually I think they said on the forums between 120 and 130 is a healthy motor. I know you should have it roughly 10 PSI average between each piston, but I don't know. I'm just going to run with it for now. So we'll put fresh spark plugs in, and we are going to go riding for 5-10 minutes before it gets too dark. Woohoo! She's a runner. It has a bog, as you heard. Right when you take off, and then it wants to go. I'm thinking, well, I'm hoping more, that it's a carb issue. I'm hoping it's not clutches. So we're going to dive into the carbs tomorrow. I actually have to go in plowing soon, do some final cleanups, now that the business is all closed that I do. And we'll see what's going on in there. I probably should have cleaned them before we went out or checked them, make sure they're good. But it was running, and it was losing daylight, and they're excited to go out. I think it only sat for a year or two, he told me, so it's not like it's the end of the world. But otherwise, the brakes work good, the lights work, and yeah, everything else feels good. So I'm not a huge fan of these bars. One, they look like they're bent a little bit, not the riser, but the bars themselves. So I think we're gonna replace those eventually. And also, this windshield is, well, yeah, you can't see out of it at all. And it looks like it's been scratched, really scratched, trying to clean it or trying to polish it. I don't know. So I'm going to see if we can order one of these in. I don't think they're that expensive. All right. Anyways, enough yapper. I'll see you guys tomorrow bright and early. By bright and early, I probably mean 2 o'clock, maybe 4 when it gets dark again, so we can't film outside. All right, guys. It's been a few days, been a busy week. But yesterday I did get about an hour of time to pull the carbs, and then once I got those out of the sled, I took them all apart, and they looked fairly clean. There wasn't really anything sticking out that gave me pause, but we ended up pulling all the jets, pulling all the pieces out. Floats looked good, and cleaning everything up, blew everything out with compressed air, put everything back together, and threw it back on the sled. It didn't take long, probably 35 minutes. Just me kind of findangling how to get them out. I've never worked on one of these before, but we managed. So now we are going to take this for another test drive and see if our bog is cleared up. Now, I did fire her up yesterday after the carbs are clean. I'll show you that right now. But we really need to give this thing a quick test drive and let it really warm up and see if the bog comes back. Probably put myself in the worst position because the sun's right in my eyes. So the sled runs really good. The bog seems like it's gone away. It idles awesome. It's, for a fan-cooled sled, it takes off really nicely. And yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a good candidate. It has good bones for a sweet crossover build. What I kind of plan to do to this is, first off, new skis. I want to do a nice set of plastic skis, like a nice on-trail, off-trail ski. Maybe find like a more modern Arctic Cat ski or Yamaha ski or whatever we can find that might be cheap on Marketplace, as well as a new track. Now that definitely needs to be replaced. It's probably about a 1/4 inch lug on it. It's smoked. And it still grips, it goes, it rides around trails. It'd probably be okay, but we definitely need to do something about it, because as you saw over there, I was trying to hang the skis a little bit, trying to go up that little hill, and she just wasn't biting. And I know I'm not a big guy that doesn't have the weight to push it back as much, but she still should be hanging a little bit. And so that's definitely going to need to be addressed. And I don't think we're going to need to put a mountain skid in or like anything like that. This is a good length skid, 136. I'm not trying to go into super deep powder with this. We're in central New Hampshire, and unfortunately we just don't get a bunch of snow. That's part one of the Phazer, and you're definitely going to see this sled in the future, hopefully the near future. And yeah, we got a lot to do to this thing. So hopefully you subscribe if you want to see more of this, as well as other old sleds. We also have a few newer sleds coming up, and I appreciate you guys all watching and supporting, and you guys subscribing and stuff keeps me motivated to make these videos. It's been a lot of fun. All right, hopefully you see you guys really soon.